Hi, I'm Tom Scioli, author of Space Opera Xanadax, Across the Unknown Dimensions of the Galaxy, a new graphic novel coming in August from Image Comics. Pre-order now, because those pre-orders help us determine how many copies to print up. If the pre-orders are large enough, we'll print up a proportionately larger print run. It kind of gives us some kind of indication of demand. That way, people who want a copy of it aren't going to find themselves in a position where it's all gone, which tends to happen. It happened with the Transformers versus G.I. Joe hardcover, which is like really hard to find now. It happened with issue 1 of Godzilla's Monsterpiece Theater. That disappeared pretty quick. Yeah, do that. And as a bonus, in Space Opera Xanadax, Across the Unknown Dimensions of the Galaxy, there's also a bonus story, Princess the Princess from Outer Space, a really great science fiction comic that I did a few years ago that has never seen print until this moment. So I'm really excited about that. And then there's also Godzilla's Monsterpiece Theater is coming back in a trade paperback form, the whole thing in one volume. So if you did miss issue 1, you can get the whole thing there. I'm also hard at work on Twilight Zone issue 2 from IDW. As soon as we're done this episode, I'm going to go back to drawing page 2, drawing the finished art for page 2, working my way through it. Going to finish it by the end of July, beginning of August. That's the deadline. So I'm on that.
I'm Matt Zeoli.
And so, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Superman, because we're in this moment right now. Pretty soon this moment's going to be over. In a few days, the Superman movie comes out, and it's either going to be great, or it's going to be a piece of shit, or it's going to be just all right, or it's going to be something. But this moment is kind of exciting, and these moments do get lost, because once these things come out, it kind of just becomes whatever it is. But it's kind of I'm really excited about it. As it gets closer, I'm getting really excited. I was at the movies recently, saw the trailer on the big screen, and then you see all the signage. I was at Dairy Queen. They had the Superman Blizzard and stuff. It's kind of fun seeing all this stuff. And the people at the movie theater were all wearing Superman t-shirts. So again, I'm caught up in the hype. I really can't wait to see this movie.
I think the trailers are good.
I mean, I'm
excited. It's catching me.
The fact that, and again, same as the Fantastic Four, it's got some color to it. It's a little bright poppy. They're going for a more whimsical tone, it seems, which I think is a good idea. The inclusion of Crypto the Wonder Dog kind of says a lot, because that is if you get why Crypto the Wonder Dog is so great, you're on the right side of things. I feel if you're oh, that's so stupid. What, a superpowered dog? Oh, fuck that. It's okay, you've had your way. That's what Superman has been for the past 40 years or something. There's been no Crypto the Wonder Dog, but it's okay, we want Crypto the Wonder Dog. And it looks like he's fighting big monsters, which is another thing that's been missing from all of these. I was just talking to somebody this morning about Superman Returns, and I really liked Superman Returns, but the thing it missed was there wasn't some big fight with Brainiac or Bizarro. That's all it was missing, and what kept it from being really great is it just, Superman didn't have some big giant robot to beat up or something.
Who are the villains in this new one?
I don't know. I was
trying to determine. I couldn't.
Yeah, again, so it seems like there's some DC Comics deep cuts, and maybe even stuff from recent years. It looks to me maybe it's some variation of the Phantom Zone villains again. We don't really need the Phantom Zone villains again. Let's move on to something else. But I don't know, throwing buzzsaws or something.
Yeah, that looks so neat.
Maybe it's a different villain, or maybe there's some ancillary DC characters coming in that do kind of make me think of Black Adam and some of the movies. You remember Black Adam? There was kind of the Justice Society shows up. Hawkman was in it.
Yeah.
And the Atom was in it. I forget who Pierce Brosnan's character was, but yeah. Oh, he was Dr. Fate.
Oh yeah.
So it had it seems like there's some of that, because I saw Guy Gardner's going to be in it. The Green Lantern with a red Mo haircut, and then Mr. Terrific is in it. Who again, he's Mr. Terrific is this character from the 40s, an early DC superhero. But then past maybe 10, 15 years, they've been doing more stuff with him, and they put a little T on his face and
That's
stuff.
Cool.
So it looks like he's in it. There's some stuff some interesting things bubbling around the sides, and it looks like Lex Luthor might be wearing some version of that green armor that he had in the Superpowers toy line.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm just really excited about it. Looks like it could be so much fun, and hopefully, like, I love Superman. You talk about, like, oh, what's your favorite superhero and stuff. I mean, I would probably say, like, Orion or whatever, but when somebody asks you, oh, what's your favorite superhero, they're not looking for that. They're not looking for some crazy deep cut. They're looking for, like, okay, do you like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Spider-Man? Like, that's what they want. They don't want to hear some, like, character they never heard of when they ask you your favorite. So, but for me, like, as a kid, it always was Superman. Like, I was way more of a Superman fan than a Batman fan. There have been times where Batman, but like I always would go back to Superman. Like, Superman was the one I like. That was my career ambition as a kid. When I grew up, I wanted to be Superman. Like that, we had that in kindergarten. We were supposed to make like a thing. You take a photo of yourself, cut out your face, glue it down, and then you draw like what you want to be when you grow up. And mine was Superman. I mean, so that's who I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to be Superman. So.
When I was little, I had pajamas that had a Superman cape that you could Velcro onto them,
nice.
Which was great. But the superhero I would always play was the Greatest American Hero.
Of course, yeah, he was pretty great too. that tracks.
William
that tracks. Carries William Cat. Mr. H, Mr. Hinckley. No, Mr. H. He had like his student. He'd go on these like bus trips with his students, and it was kind of like, okay, it'll be like Superman combined with Welcome Back, Kotter. He's got his sweat, like he had sweat hogs. He had these like juvenile delinquents that were in his Mr. H.
And like that theme song, I would like fly around, like run around, like, oh my god.
Yeah, I wanted to be Superman, and so I'm always up for a Superman movie. They don't come around often enough, in my opinion. I'm kind of shocked how infrequent a thing there is as a Superman movie.
Nicholas Hoult, who plays Lex Luthor, like, I love him. He's a great actor. He was just in like the I think the Juror number 2. It's a good thriller, like a Clint Eastwood thriller. He's awesome. But the guy playing Superman, I don't recognize him. It's like I think he like an unknown kind of guy.
Like, he seems pretty credible as Superman, like husky voice, like he seems pretty credible. And then his Clark Kent, it's kind of funny because I guess I'm like maybe generationally out of sync. Like I might be older than Superman now, which is so, because Superman was always like, I was a kid and Superman's this grown up, and now I might be older than Superman because he's like, when he's Clark Kent, he has that haircut that like everybody who's like between their teens and their
I know exactly when you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like kind of like broccoli. It's
yeah,
like Sideshow Bob, the Sideshow Bob haircut.
Superman, he was like
Vidal Sassoon.
Like, I'm trying to think of some like hip slang. Yeah, Superman keeps talking about the skibbity toilet in the Ohio Rizzler and shit.
And Clark Kent parts his hair on the side, like. Clark Kent puts dippity-doo in his hair and parts it on the side. He doesn't have the broccoli.
He's like, the Phantom Zone villains are attacking Metropolis. No cab. It's like, for real.
I am curious to see who like shows up in it in terms of villains, like who they are. Because again, these like Superman movies, you do need like a superpowered opponent. But that would suck if it's just like, the Phantom Zone guys are back. They're, like, I love the Phantom Zone. I love General Zod and all that. But it's like, this would be the 9th movie. And we still haven't gotten around to, Brainiac, the Parasite, any of those, like, great... like, Superman doesn't have that many great villains, those, like, sort of high-powered villains that you can butt heads with. But he's got enough, to make some movies with. It's not just the Phantom Zone guys.
Jimmy Olsen and, like, Superman are playing Roblox, and they're like, Lois is like, you two, get off the computer. Beck Bennett from SNL was in the movie too.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what character he plays.
I thought you were going to say Breckenmeyer.
Brecken.
Wesley from Mr. Belvedere.
James Gunn the director?
Yeah.
He asks Breckin Meyer, he's like, is the balls squatting story true? He's like, the first thing James Gunn asked me on set was if Mr. Belvedere really sat on his balls.
When Brian Bendis did his run on Superman, like Brian Bendis had been working at Marvel for like 20 years or something, and then he jumped over to DC for a little bit to do some Superman stuff. One of his big contributions was he came up with this new superpowered villain for Superman to fight, which was pretty cool. Like I think was smart because Superman kind of needed like a new, like to be freshened up that way. And what he came up with was kind of cool because he was super powered. He had like powers of a Kryptonian. I don't think he was a Kryptonian, but he had those powers, and he kind of had like a black outfit like the Phantom Zone guys. But he had this design that was kind of like a Bernie Wrightson design, like this like super powered Swamp Thing kind of thing.
Awesome.
So like, I think we need more of that. We need some more like come up with some cool heavy hitters for Superman to come up against that are that are new but iconic. So I don't know, maybe that guy will find his way into the movie. That might be interesting.
I'm gonna look that guy up and check him out.
I forget what he's called. He's got some kind of name that seems like it would be like a Kryptonian name or something.
I can't believe it's coming out very soon. Like
very soon, in a couple days, this video will be obsolete. We can do the video where we're like, well, we saw Superman and it blew. Fuck that movie. That movie sucked.
We're like full of hope and optimism.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's like, oh my God, they made a Superman movie better than the 70s ones or whatever. How do you top Christopher Reeve? Like, it's just like we were reading the Mario Puzo script. We did an episode where we read the Mario Puzo script for Superman. And this was before Christopher Reeve was cast, but in the script he's describing Superman, like what this actor who's playing Superman, what like he embodies and stuff. And everything he perfectly described Christopher Reeve. Like it was like just once in a 1,000 years kind of cast.
Talk about being born to play a role.
Yeah, and I know that it was like hard for him to get out from under the shadow of it, but it was just that perfect.
In the James Gunn movie, Superman gets bullied by that guy. He's in an old folks' home. the guy
who's the wrestler. The wrestler. Yeah. We got to do an update because we talked about the septuagenarian trucker who beats up Clark Kent in Superman 2 at the Tony Curtis lookalike, and how funny it is that they have this elderly gentleman beating up Clark Kent. And then I recently looked up his age when he filmed that. He's younger than us.
Oh my God,
so that's pretty sobering. But it also sounded like he had a pretty interesting life. Like he was a wrestler and wrestler, became an actor, all this great stuff, but it made a lot more sense. But for some reason, just in the movie, he looks kind of tiny and frail.
And Superman's lips quivering when he's confronting him. He's like,
like he's Chris Reeve is like towering over him, and he's like, sorry, sir.
Yeah, Christopher Reeve's head's hitting the top of the guy.
Yeah, and he's like, please don't hurt me. You know what the other thing with this Superman movie, like where it might go horribly wrong, is like just hit your home run. Like give us put everything into this. Don't hold anything back. Give us like the full Superman experience. My fear is that it's like, oh, well, we're starting a new universe and we're starting a new, series of movies, and it's going to segue into this and segue into, like, forget about all that. Just, like, knock this one out of the fucking park. Don't pull any punches. We'll save that for, part 7 or like, just give us everything you got. Give us because it might be another 15 years before we see another Superman movie if this thing fucks up. So James Gunn, you got your orders. You got 3 days to like fix whatever's not working in the movie, and to do it right.
He's like, I'm going back to the editing room.
Yeah.
We got Fantastic Four creeping up on us.
Yeah,
too,
so we'll do a similar video about that. I'm excited about that too. When I was at the movies, I had the Fantastic Four popcorn bucket, not the Galactus one, just like a standard bucket of popcorn, all blue with like the 4 logo. Cool. Yeah, so I'm pumped for that too.
They got another limited edition bucket. It has like different layers. One's like a clear like flame layer. It's like If I find that where to get that, I'll send you the link for that. It's like
Cool, yeah, because I am tempted to get the Galactus bucket. I still need to get the Fantastic Four pizza from Little Caesars.
oh my god, yes. Like and there's also 4 dipping sauces, special dipping sauces for
Nice.
each section.
Sounds awesome. Yeah, it looks unlike some of these movie tie-in pizzas. This one looks very appetizing.
Because that one for the Batman.
Yeah, the less said, the better.
I think they were fighting it in like the new Alien Romulus.
Right, yeah, it gets stuck to your face. And I'm Tom Scioli, author of Space Opera Xanadax Across the Unknown Dimensions of the Galaxy, coming soon from Image Comics. It's got Princess, the Space Princess from Outer Space as a backup story. Pre-order now. I'm also the author of Godzilla's Monsterpiece Theater, which is in trade paperback, coming any day now. And The Twilight Zone, issue 2, which I'm currently working on as we speak. I'm working on the finished art for page 2. So be on the lookout for that.
I'm Matt Zeoli.
And yeah, we'll see you next time. We'll see you on Krypton or whatever.
We'll see you at the movies.